Tia. So I think what's causing you problems are the accent marks, and it's a little bit tricky, um, especially when you're looking at dar, because you see when it's conjugated out that it has an accent mark. There's certain rules in Spanish with accents, and you only write in an accent when the rule doesn't apply. So if a word ends in NS or a vowel, the accent is, and I'm going to do this in caps, supposed to fall on the second to last syllable. If it doesn't, that is when you need to write in an accent. Okay? If a word ends in something other than NS or a vowel, the accent is supposed to fall on the last. If it doesn't, that is when you need to write in an accent. Okay, so now, when you start adding words, when you start attaching pronouns, you are shifting where the accent falls. So for example, in dar, it tells you that the accent is the accent, they write it in because it's such a short word. It obviously doesn't fit the rule because the rule is if it ends in N, S, or a vowel, the accent is supposed to fall on the second to last syllable. Well, there is no second to last syllable. There's only one syllable, so they write it in. However, when I attach a pronoun to dar, I have now made this word de, me. Okay, so when I add, so now that word, it now has two syllables, and we want to stress the E because that was where the original stress fell. It ends in a vowel, so its stress now is falling where it's supposed to, so I no longer have to write it in. Does that make sense? Words that end in a vowel are supposed to get stressed on their second to last syllable, which is where I want my stress to go here. So deme doesn't need an accent mark. Digan me, you got right. You look at the word digan. Okay, so words that end in, S, or a vowel are supposed to get accented on the second to last syllable. That's the I, so I don't write it in. However, when I add the me, I have now made this a three-syllable word. I still want my stress to fall where it originally fell, which is over the I, but now my I has shifted its position from being the second to last syllable to the first syllable. So in order to get my Spanish speakers to say this word with the stress still falling on the I have to write it in. Otherwise, it would be shifted to that A. And so down here, the same thing happens with maquillar. The problem is you put the accent in the wrong place. Because if you write it out, maquille. Okay, that's the word before you add the pronoun to it. So that it ends in a vowel, so the stress is supposed to be falling on an I. If there was no written in accent, that's where it would fall. And if I do maquillar, I do it in the formal command. Oh, it's still doing dar for some reason. I'm not really sure why it wants to do dar. I could try to pull it up again, but essentially if you do the command form of maquillar, you'll see that it's maquille without an accent. However, when I add the S on the end of it, that's shifted where I want the stress to fall. to the third syllable, it needed to be the second to last syllable, and since it's no longer in the second to last syllable, I add in the accent mark. So it should be maquiller, say, instead of where you put it over the A. And that's the same thing that's going here. You've got siente. So if there was no written accent, I'll show it. Let's see if I can get it to work this time. If you look in your verb chart and I pull up, I think it's sentar, right? Is that what we had? Yeah, sentar. So let's see if it'll work. Sentar, and I want it for the formal command. Okay, I'm not really sure why. There we go. Okay, so if you see it, it's got when you write out sentar, it's siente. No se siente. Siente doesn't have an accent mark on it, but you'll notice they put an accent mark here. That's because in siente, the E is what gets accented. And so when you add the se, then I've made it longer and I have to write in the accent mark. And so it goes siente se. Okay. So it's all about understanding accents. I'm going to send you this video. I'm going to send you a Senor Begues video in which he talks about it. Maybe his video might be a little bit clearer. And I'll see if I can't find anything else that I can send to you as well that helps make it a little bit clearer.